Hi guys, Jurassic Junkie here, and this week I am not headbutting the camera. Welcome to the Friday Night Run. So I hope you are now full of Christmas cheer. The time is upon us. We've got the noises going. And also I've just come back from my daughter's school play where she got to sing. And I'm full of Christmas joy now. So what we're going to talk about. Wow. First of all, I've already filmed this video and I got through to the editing stages, which I was going to do this morning. And of course, more information was dropped out last night at the Game Awards, which means I want to tuck into some of that because it relates to a part of the video that I filmed yesterday. So we've scrapped it. Let's start again. So we've got some information now regarding the new iteration of the Xbox, along with some rumors, and they kind of all make sense. So the original video was talking about these rumors, and now they kind of marry in with what was actually released last night. So going forwards then, what did we see last night? We actually got to see the new Xbox. And first of all, I absolutely loved the trailer. And when it comes down to the actual design of the Xbox, I assumed everyone was like, it's a box, that's shit. But I just like how clean it looks. But strangely enough, everyone that I spoke to so far has said it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just really nice, just clean, sophisticated design. Joe, my partner on the other hand, is like, that's fucking awful. That is not going in the living room. So she's really against it, where I really like it. So anyway, we've got to see what the actual console looks like. Very basic, just clean lines and everything like that. And we've also got the name, the Xbox One. I've already fucked it up. This is going to get confusing. Xbox Series X. Then that's the name it's going by. So they've shown us that. We've also got to see some game footage. We'll come back to that in a minute. So I wanted to actually crack in with the rumors, the original video I actually did, and then how this ties in with what they've released. So originally we've gone by knowing that there's this Xbox Scarlett that's around the horizon, and that's going to be the new console. So in my head, I thought Scarlett was its holding name, and therefore when it shows its face, Bosch will get to see it, which we did last night. But by the sounds of it, Scarlett isn't a single console. We actually have two consoles being worked on by the sounds of it, Lockhart and Anaconda. So as we normally see with most generations with consoles, you get your base unit, you play it, you use it, it breaks because we're guinea pigs and we get to test the hardware nice and early, and then you get maybe one or two or sometimes a few more iterations. So because we're talking about the Xbox, obviously we got the Xbox One, and then we got the S, and now we've got the X. Each of them being able to play the same games across each other, but they all fall within that generation. So moving forwards, it looks like we're going to get two potentially at launch, and it's going to be Lockhart and Anaconda. Lockhart being the weaker powered unit. So first of all, if we're going to dive in and just actually look at some of the technical specs, we're only going to be looking at one particular thing. What I want to just explain is don't fucking trust the stats. Now, I felt this way for a long time now. I've been looking at stats when it comes down to mobile phones, and I was like, oh, I've got this on my mobile phone, but the one I want to go to is actually lower spec. I then bought it, and I was like, actually, this performs way better, looks better, and is just all around a better phone, but it's lower spec. And it feels like it's been that way for a long time now. Just because the spec of something is higher doesn't mean it's better. We can see on the market at the moment, there's some 4K screens that kill 8K screens because they do something better with their hardware. And just to give you a base level, the actual Xbox One X runs at 6 teraflops, so how many actual calculations it can do. And the Lockhart is going to be coming in at 4. So you would automatically assume, okay, this is going to be a very low entry console, but the Xbox One X is more powerful. And the people in the know have actually said, no, this is fucking completely wrong. What's happening is we're now going on to a different architecture. So we're now using Navi architecture, which is AMD's new and up-and-coming GPU architecture. So the best way to just compare it really is if you get an old school hard drive and you're like, this is 10 gig, therefore you can only store 10 gig in it. Yeah, if you zip a file and put it in, you can store more than 10 gig, but yet it's still 10 gig. So it's another way of just saying you can get more out of something if the software works a little bit better. Granted, that's not the greatest comparison, but the point is the Navi system can do a lot more with a lot less. So the best way to put it is, even though this is running at 4 teraflops, it kind of is the equivalent to 8 teraflops in today's standards. So therefore you are going to see that jump from 6 on the current gen up to what feels like 8 in the new generation. And they have said it runs a lot better than what the Xbox One X does. And the rumours is this is going to be coming around about a price point of $300, which I think is really good. This is going to be a new generation console. It's going to be a bit better than Xbox One X. So it just makes anybody that's been on the fence, or I've not really got an Xbox One X because it's the latest version, but why buy one because the generation's about to die? So that means if you have waited and you get to jump to the lower model, you're going to be rewarded with a cheaper price plan, but a higher spec machine than what the Xbox One X is. So then that comes down to the big daddy, the Anaconda. And the Anaconda is going to be running at 12 teraflops. And again, if you're comparing that to the Xbox One X, because this is like doing much better with the power that it's actually got, that would be like 24 teraflops if you was comparing hardware for hardware. But obviously people are going to just look at it very black and white, like just numbers on the page, and go, the original is 6, this is 12, therefore it's only twice as powerful. But it sounds like it's going to be 4 times as powerful. And the price point on this is going to be around about $500, which I think is very reasonably priced. Xbox One X kind of came out around about that price point, and you've got that kind of shelf where, yes, the hardware gets better, and sometimes you can squeeze a bit more pennies out of it, but then you may just blow past it. And then people are like, nah, it's just too expensive, I'm going to build myself a high-end rig. So comparing this with a high-end rig, apparently the rumours are saying that they're actually doing something with these machines that is so cutting edge, it's actually going to beat PC machines. So there's different rumours saying it's because it's PCI Express 4.0, or they're doing this, or it's the architectures that allow them to get more out of the bus speeds, or whatever it is. They're saying that the speeds on this is absolutely ridiculous. To get a benchmark for it, what they did is they had a tricked out PC, high-end SSD, bells and whistles and everything, and they chucked on their Sea of Thieves. Now, Sea of Thieves took about 23 seconds to boot into the game, not too shabby. Putting this through the new Xbox, it managed to do it in 3 seconds. So this thing is fucking lightning. And also, one of the things that they look like they're doing is aiming at these speeds to stop you hanging around. And one of them, which is rumoured, which makes complete sense and is really cool, is one of the hiccups, one of the hurdles that we have with waiting around is if you're digital or physical, no matter what it is, if I'm a physical boy and I put that disc inside that unit, I have then got to wait for it to install and potentially patch itself. Which means, on a good day, make a cup of tea, come back and hopefully it's installed. And the same with the digital person, they'll click download, and fingers crossed, it might just be a 30-minute download, but your internet could be slow, the server could be checked, there's a bottleneck along the way, and sometimes it could mean you're waiting a day for that game. So what Xbox are doing now is obviously they've got this new generation of hardware, but they've also got the xCloud, which allows you to do the cloud computing and do streaming. So what they're going to do is when you put that disc in, Xbox is going to go, right, you own this game. When you click buy on that game, they're going to say, yep, you own this game. So when you own this game, when it's downloading, installing, patching, or whatever it be, Microsoft's going to go, here's a copy for free on the xCloud. Play it now. So while that's all happening, you can sit and start actually playing this game. Granted, it might take you 6 hours to download this game, whatever it is, you can play it on the xCloud for them 6 hours, and then when it's done, you get your save game, and then it'll be like, right, let's just boot it off this hardware now because it's going to run a lot more better, actually situated on the hardware than over the cloud. It feels like Microsoft's not trying to fool you and saying, but you could keep playing it on the xCloud. No, obviously, you've brought this new piece of machine, you want to utilize it, but it does mean that there isn't any waiting. The second you put the disc in, you're playing it on the xCloud. When it comes down, it looks like the boot times are going to be lightning fast. And from what we've seen graphically, it looks fucking stunning. So they've shown us Hellblade 2, which is running in real time. Granted, you've got to take this with a pinch of salt because, yes, this is being rendered on the actual new console, but it also means that the developers could have actually gone, right, we're going to use these parts for a trailer, so let's make sure everything looks tight as shit. And when you actually come to play the game, it might not look exactly like that, but still, it looks fucking impressive. It's like CGI movie level impressive. So they've got the ray tracing built into there, which is, for anyone that don't really know, it's just actually doing really nice, sexy reflections. I'm not over the moon by ray tracing. I think it's going to be awesome. But to me, I was like, give me destruction. I just want destruction, please. That's the big thing to me. But nonetheless, when you actually see the fire and the glow on the skin and all the different things, you're like, yeah, ray tracing is really nice. But they're also using the hardware to do the ray tracing with some software and allowing it to, because pretty much a ray trace just means it's firing off a ray to something, it's bouncing off something, and then they can work out where a reflection will be. But they're going to be utilizing that as well to control the sound. So because it's doing a calculation of where that's hitting and firing off, that could also be where the sound would fire off. So it seems like we're going to get a lot better sound through ray tracing, which is something I didn't really think about. So then, by the looks of it, we're going to be getting these two consoles. Now, I don't know 100% if we're going to get them both at launch, but the point is, I believe we're going to know about them within that launch window. So they was the rumors, and now Microsoft has gone, here is the new console. So we've got to see it, we've got to see some game footage, and we've got the name of Xbox Series X. So the Series X pretty much just means that when Microsoft does an X version of something, it's the high-end version of it. Xbox One X, the highest version of that series. Oh, this is horrible. So that's that series, this is this series. I'm not a fan of the naming convention, I will say that. So anywho, they're calling this the S series. So they've not come out and just gone, here is the Scarlett or a cool looking name, Xbox Box or something like that. They've gone, this is the Series X, which simply implies this is a series of multiple. This is the X version. So it does sound like the rumors of this Lockhart and Anaconda is correct. I would assume the Anaconda is the X series being the high end, and then we're going to get the Lockhart, which I assume would be an S series. So I like how they've kind of gone, here it is, here's a trailer, here's a naming convention. And then I assume when the time comes, we're going to get to see another box, which is going to be the S or another random number. And by number, I mean letter. So then the question is, what is actually happening? Because PlayStation's got the best naming conventions on the planet. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and I could only assume 5. It's very easy to follow along. And the thing is, as well, we've got like Phil Spencer that's turned around and said, obviously, there's no console left behind, which is a way of implying that we're going to support everything. So by the looks of it, when you get this new series line that comes out, everything will be backwards compatible. Yay. And it also sounds like the developers, when they are asked to make a game, one of the actual parts of the contract says that you must make it for both of the series. So again, the future series of the potential S or X or Lockhart or Anaconda, if you want to call it that. So nonetheless, when they make a game, it has to work on both. Makes sense. But there's nothing in that contract stating that they have to support the last generation of consoles. Now, I do think we're going to get a nice blend to start off with, especially when it comes down to third-party support, because third-party just wants to get as much money from as much as they can. So they're going to straddle across multiple different consoles. So I think that's going to be fine. And then moving into the future, we're going to start to see less and less support for this generation. And then you'll get the handful that keep supporting everything like sports games because they just want to touch everything. But then that gets confusing then, because what will happen is at one point when people go, right, this game that I've made only works on the latest generation. What do you write on the box? Only works with Xbox series. Or is the actual series called Xbox? Is that its name? Xbox Series X? So this only works on Xbox. Not to be confused with Xbox One or the original Xbox. Like, I like the 360. The 360 made sense. They had the Xbox and PlayStation had the PS2. Then the PS3 came out and the Xbox couldn't do Xbox 2 because it was sound inferior. Xbox 2, PlayStation 3. Well, I'll get a PlayStation 3. It's a number higher. So they jumped straight to 360. So you've got the 3, you've got the PlayStation 3, 360. Both of them got 3s in it. It worked. And then when they jumped to Xbox One, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, but it's a bit weird because they was just saying this is one machine that does everything. And now I feel like it's got even murkier with Xbox Series X, which could be confused with Xbox One X. So I think they should have just given us an extra word in there. Even just taking the word Scarlett and sticking in there. Xbox Scarlett Series X, Scarlett Series Y, Scarlett Series... As long as there's a defining word that you can say, this is a Scarlett version. None of them will work, only works on the Scarlett ones, but they haven't got a defining word to say it. X, been used more than once. Xbox, been used all the time. Series, well, series just means a series of things, so it's all confusing. So I think the naming convention's really shit. So on top of it as well, they've actually gone through and slightly altered the controller. It looks like they're pinching the PlayStation idea of having a nice little share button in there. That's fine. And they've also apparently made this controller slightly smaller. So it sounds like it's going to be that much of a smidgen, you won't notice. But with Xbox, they've actually gone through and checked out the hand sizes of all different people all across the planet and worked out that this controller fits in whatever percentage of hands. So by shrinking it by millimeter, it's going to then fall into a higher percentage of people's hands. So they've just slightly dialed it in. To me, I think that's absolutely fine. I think this is a good size shape. I've got reasonable size hands, but if it's a little bit smaller, that's great. Mainly because what I really want them to do is just release an official kids controller. My daughter's getting to that point now. She wants to play Minecraft and she really struggles trying to get her hands over it. I keep getting her onto the Switch because that controller is a little bit smaller, but there is one kicking around on Amazon, but it's not official. It's like licensed by Xbox, but not made by Xbox. Looks a bit turd, to be fair. So I want them to... The Xbox is a bit weird. They turn around and go, we want to be inclusive to as many people as can. And they do. They make all these... And they make these controllers that are for people that are disabled, so you can actually use the back of your wrist, your chin, your nose, whatever it is. If they're having a problem getting to this particular button, Xbox has got you covered by having an accessory that you can touch with a body part. So they kind of make sure that no disabled person's left behind. But they've left the kids. And the kids are the biggest part of the market. They are going to be your next consumers of the products. So get them in earlier. Get them a child-sized controller. Yes, there's a lot of tech packed in one of these with the Rumble controllers and all that lot. They don't really need it. Take the Rumble out of it. Just make it small for a child's hands and let them play Minecraft, because you own Minecraft. You know the numbers of Minecraft. It's a stupid amount of people that play it. Kids absolutely love it. And kids want to be able to control the controller without having to do this. See Jessica hold it. It's like she's also holding a big thing in her hands, trying to get her tiny little hands to press the buttons. It's a bit of a joke. So I'd like to see Xbox give us a child-sized controller. So anyway, that's the hardware. So we got to see some graphics. We got to see Hellblade, and my word, does that look fucking beautiful. I personally got Hellblade on launch on the PlayStation. I thought it was a really great, fresh new IP. I liked how it was to do with the mental health, and then especially if you haven't played this game and you're planning to do it, you've got to put some cans on. Do not let your TV ruin that experience, because the audio level on it is just on point with the demons inside your head talking and moving around your actual headspace. It's really fucking tripper, and I absolutely loved it. So to see that come out, I don't know how far it is along the production lines, because obviously Microsoft's only recently purchased them, so I don't know how far in development the actual game was, but from what we saw, it looks pretty fucking polished. But who's to say that 90% of the game is still missing? And then, strangely enough, the next thing we got to see was the Ghost of, let me get this right, Tsushima. I think that's right, Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. I'm happy that the trailers called themselves The Ghost, because that's what I shall refer to him from now on, because I always butcher the name. But nonetheless, we got to see the Ghost trailer, and that looks delicious. I want lots of this. This is somebody coming off Sekiro, and I'm like, I need more samurai stabby stuff, and that ticks all the boxes for me. But what's strange enough, and this isn't to piss on PlayStation, what's strangely enough is going from Hellblade 2 trailer, then going to the Ghost trailer. I was like, you can see night and day. It is a case of two different generations now. And don't get me wrong, Ghost looks really good. But after just seeing Hellblade, I'm like, wow, this is where we are. And then we go to that, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely where we are at the moment. It's not done anything mind-blowing. And that's not to piss on PlayStation, because obviously PlayStation's making a fucking beast in the background as well. So when they drop that, it's going to be quite interesting to see exactly what it is versus the Xbox. Personally, I think Xbox is going to be trying to bring out the highest end machine. I'm curious if PlayStation's going to then go, we're going to make a really high one as good as, or are they going to go with, we're going to do two iterations, we're going to do low and high at the same time. So it's going to be interesting to see what actual Sony's going to do. But nonetheless, to take it away, Ghost is looking fucking beautiful. I'm all over that on launch. So that is me done and dusted, people. It was a bit of a random one because I wrote that yesterday and I only had so much to talk about today, and what they've done is pretty much just confirmed what we was talking about. And I did write a load of stuff about Shenmue, which I'll have to save for next week now, because I've got no chance of turning this into a 45-minute video and editing it and getting all the Christmas stuff done. So nonetheless, I'm going to love you and leave you now. My question is to you, what do you think this means for you if you are an Xbox user, or even if a PlayStation, let's say PlayStation's going to do the same, low and high. Was you one of them people that would, like me, that was going, I don't need to jump to next generation unless there's that game that I need to buy. But let's say that game hasn't come out. Then you go, well, I can wait. Now that they're going, well, you've got the high-end bar and the low-end bar, and the low-end is going to be a bit more cheaper. You go, I can dibble me feet in, put me toe in that water, see what it's like at low end, and if need be, I can jump up to high end later. Me, personally, I'm going to stand back, wait, as always, it's new hardware, let the guinea pigs try it out, and then I'm going to just jump in straight at the top level, get the X1, then I ain't got to worry about it again. But I don't want to buy it on launch. But this week I've been playing Fable a lot on stream, and it's just made me go, oh my god, like Fable to me is, I think, one of my favourite series. I love Witcher, but I love me some Fable. So I think if Fable does get an announce, and there's nothing been announced, you know what I mean? So to me, I think it's the surprise package that they're holding back. They're going to just go, yeah, what's that? What do you want? Your Fable, motherfuckers, buy a console. And it will work. It will work for me. So I'm hoping in a mixed way that they don't do that, because then I ain't got to spend $500 or what it equates to. But at the same time, I'm like, but I do want more Fable, so please do it. So I'm a bit torn. But yeah, what do you think now? Are you still holding back, or would you go for a low model, higher model? How would that work? So thank you very much for tuning in. I do hope you've got some Christmas cheer now. And also, it's a Friday, so I'm going to be playing, what's it called? Silver Chains, a horror game. I looked at the trailer. It looks like there's some horrendous stuff that mind fucks me, because there's particular things I don't like, and it's things that go weird crawling on walls. This game has it, so I paused the trailer, haven't seen no more, purchased it, got the heart monitor and everything set up. So tonight we're wiring up my chest. We're going to play it live on Twitch, and the chances are I will be squealing. So if you want to see me do a little poop and turn my jeans brand, then tune in around about 7 o'clock tonight, and I shall be playing a horror game. So that is it. There you go. The Xbox Series X. I managed to get the name right there. I think everything's looking good, apart from we need a brand new name, because that is just confusing to the consumer. But anyway, I love you and leave you. Take it easy. Toodles! Just because I didn't talk about Stadia doesn't mean it's not hot shit.